There'd be no road rage and you couldn't be angry. You'd just be forever jolly. So here's one of these little vans. For some reason they've taken the paint off it for a bit of a stunt, I think. But yeah, it's not cheap, is it? But these things can go for a lot of money when they're restored. And I suppose this is moth-eaten as it was, you can at least see what you're getting. And it hasn't been restored yet, so you're not having to put right someone else's mess, are you? But I ain't got time to do something like this. I quite like these cargo doors. I like that a bit. That's quite cool, isn't it? So these rear lights are not correct, are they? But you know, that's a small thing. And they've overloaded it a bit because they've bent the roof rack. I thought this represented good value and a nice acid colour again. You can't stretch the mirror, you could have this. Just the same sort of impact, I'm sure. And you've got Powertree Power there to look after you. So it'd be safe motoring, wouldn't it? Now this is a late one, so it has the 126 wheels on it, which you can see on the 126 next to it, which is an early 126. So, which are quite fun. And I didn't make much of that little van, did I? I sort of almost ignored that. Trouble is, you see so much here, you almost glaze over after a while. But this is in nice condition. Again, it's not expensive really, is it? Well, it depends what you're comparing it to, but nowadays that doesn't seem like a lot of money. I don't know if that's a factory colour, but it does look quite good, doesn't it? The Mini Innocenti opposite. That looks elegant, doesn't it? Coupe. Not sure what it's doing outside on its own. Perhaps he had seller's remorse and took it out, parked it away so he couldn't be tempted to sell it. Or, perhaps it's just his wheels to get about in. But yeah, it's completely on its own outside. But yeah, I thought that was good. Good colour. Sort of reminiscent of my old one. So Giotto Bizzarini, we lost him this year, didn't we? Not long ago. So they're doing a little tribute to him. But yeah, isn't that an amazing looking thing? Truly remarkable, aren't they? I'm a big fan of them. This is a Stradale. So the stuff Fred builds is more like competition stuff. Now this little Oscar was beautiful, isn't it? I mean, little camtail. That really is car the show for me, I think. I think this was on the Mealy, but I cannot remember. Because the trouble with the Mealy is you lose track of a lot of things. Sometimes they don't complete, and sometimes you just don't see them again. You see them once and off they go. And I'm sure we saw this. But this, I really like this. It's more 50s looking, but it's almost forward looking to the to the Alfa Romeo TZ. You see with the sort of camtail back, and also the front with those little indicators sticking up. But yeah, that is quite lovely, isn't it? Now here's an old friend from the Mealy, isn't it? Do you remember this one? The two ladies were driving it and we followed them up through the hills. Well, that's, again, I covet these. I'm thinking, possibly a touring copies in my future, and it might be one of these. He likes it, you can see. Yeah, that was an awesome bit of kit. I'd love to see it again. There's the Mealy sign. Remember we were sort of promoting collection for Emilia Romano where they'd had the floods. Lovely blue gauges. You can see the ceiling tag where it's been rubbing on the dashboard there. It makes it all more real, doesn't it? That's a cool bit of kit, isn't it? Brings back memories. And what an adventure that was, the Mealy. I was so lucky to get to have done that. It's been a big year with that going on. Now this is some sort of bi-motor thing. Got a Zagato badge on the front. We can see we've got two engines. They're sort of linked together there, down in that sort of flywheel, crankshaft pulley area. It's a bit odd, isn't it? Below those funny little thumb screw hose clips. But yeah, I don't know what this is. I mean, this is the thing with these shows. You know, you get this stuff there. Now, that is class, isn't it? Look at that, isn't that beautiful colour? Now, this is the thing that I talk about, this sort of pinched side, this swage line that going up from the wheel arch, which was on that Omani, wasn't it? You remember that Omani I was going on about on the Mealy, the Japanese guys had? And that's sort of, you know, reminiscent of this design, isn't it? But isn't that beautiful? That really is something. Some more coach building stuff. He's got a little air-cold shrinker there. And I like the way they've branded their stuff with these sort of cycling tops they've got. Yes, I think perhaps we should be doing something like that. We'll see. But yeah, I think they're building these sort of one-offs, so I'll have to look them up and find out more about them. But yeah, nice looking work and interesting. But yeah, I quite like these tops. Very 50s cycling style, isn't it? And here we are, the antidote to white van man, isn't it? Well, there'd be no road rage and you couldn't be angry. You'd just be forever jolly. Yeah, I like these. It's fun, isn't it? Now, this is the guys that make the enamel badges, and they've been making them since forever. And here's some of the little tools and equipment. You recognise the graving tools like my father had? I think I've talked about those in some of the other films. But yeah, this would be making the tooling up to punch the badges or... Actually, I don't know. There's a Petrolicious film about these guys, and it'd be worth having a look. You know, look it up and see, and it tells you more about it. And one day I'd like to visit. They're in Milan. And there's the Cavallero thing. God, you can tell I'm not a Ferrari man. I can't even say it properly. But this was the original designs. Apparently they came up with it. Little Ricambi Fiat van. And here we are into a Quattroporte. Now, I don't know if this is a Bellagio or not. I don't know enough about these, but it does look quite cool, doesn't it? I think they did these well. Yeah, for a modern estate car, that does look quite good. I say modern, they're about 20 years old now, I think. Yeah, that's nice. I like that. I don't know if I'd have one, but I like it for a modern car. And here's the 105 rally badge again. And here we are. Another one of my little favourites, this little very, very dark blue, because it's not actually black, Fiat 600. It would sort of go quite nicely with my one, wouldn't it? It's got that red interior. I mean, it really should be black to match my one, shouldn't it? It should have a red interior with black coachwork, and then be the polar opposite of mine with the blue interior and the white coachwork. And that guy seemed to be getting in the way, didn't he? So he sort of photo bummed my picture. Here we go, this is a famous Maserati from the Panini collection. Yeah, we do like a Maserati. Now, I'm particularly a fan of these. I like the 105s anyway, but these little estate versions are really cool, aren't they? Or van, I don't know where it's a Fagone, is it, or van, I don't know. But obviously this is the police one. And this is the sort of motorway police, I guess, isn't it? And this Quattroporte was quite something. Now, it's 60 years of the Quattroporte, so Maserati are making a bit of a thing about it. Now, the guy who had the other one for sale, he said that this is for sale and they want 130,000 for it. But I don't know, because it didn't have a for sale sign on it. But it's very elegant. That colour does suit it. Now, this is a Series 2. So this will have the stainless steel bumpers and so on. The later interior. It doesn't have the dear little quarter lights front and rear that unwind. Well, the front ones can unwind, but the back ones don't. But on the Series 1, they have these tiny little door handle you can wind round, or window winder, to get the rear quarters to open. But you can see the twin lights. Now this is another old friend from the Mealy. Now this 130 Bologna did the whole event. You would see it everywhere. And this is to do with the Air Force people. So yeah, it's quite cool. Comfy way to do the Mealy, isn't it? One of them. So we went to this place, didn't we? It's one of the things we did in the Mealy. And there they are on the ramps. Do you think that they didn't forget to go over the ramps like us? This is good, isn't it? See, if you get out of a Lamborghini, you might as well have a colour like that, won't you? And this Espada with no paint on it was interesting. It wasn't actually that bad, the rust in it, but you can sort of see why they'd get rust in them. And this is what they call the periscopo, isn't it? Where you've got this little hatch thing, this little window, which is supposed to be that you look through that with the rear view mirror, but it doesn't seem to line up with the rear view mirror, so I don't know what that's all about. And here's the Motor Valley. So here we are in Bologna, which is, you know, a suitable place to have the show. Modena, Parma, and they see Autodrome Verano, which is where we go for our Abarth track days, which is the home of Dallara. In fact, the track is owned by Dallara and was built by Dallara. So there we go. And if you don't know Dallara, I'll look them up, but they make the chassis for most of the pucker cars. Now this is one of these sort of modern things where they're modern retro, doing the 105 Alpha. I'm not keen on it at all. A bit weird, isn't it? It looked good in a sci-fi film, but it's not my sort of thing. Not when you look at the elegance of the original. This is nice, 124 rally car. A little Auto Bianchi Abarth, as you know, I like these. I've got one of these, and yeah, they're starting to command some money by the looks of it. I don't think mine will fetch that. Not that it's for sale. Do a film on mine one day. Pay 50 quid for it. I've had it for over 30 years now. And this shoe, well, there you go, it's a van. But obviously it's one of these promotional vehicles. And there you go, wherever you get for your shoe shine, you can sit on that. And there's some information on it. A bit like the French going for these things, don't they? They have a lot of those sort of vehicles. A little set of 50cc racing motorcycles. Here's our Porsche again. Now look at that, that is something in it. Yeah, and it's just sort of parked amongst this sort of very normal stuff, really. This was at the end of the show. They were about to kick us out, actually. It's quite late at this point. I think it's about 10 to 7. But I just thought, I've got to get this footage whilst I still can. So yeah, it's lovely, isn't it? So, because Porsche and Abarth are very close in, not so much design, but in sort of the theory of how they'd go about things. You know, similar sort of inspiration and design ideas, I guess. And using prosaic bits, like those little indicators, those little beehive indicators are actually off of a Messerschmitt bubble car. Look at the seats, look, it's like one of them school chairs you used to sit in, isn't it? Plastic school chairs. It doesn't look very safe. These are carbs. Yeah, look at that, so it's barely come up, you know, it wouldn't reach your shoulders, would it, that little low slung thing? Imagine sitting in that and how quick this thing would be. I mean, that really, you know, you wouldn't want to be in an accident, would you? They do say motorsport is dangerous. It certainly was then. And here's sort of car the show for me in a way. I just think it's so cute. Yeah, I do think that colour's good. All that beautiful exotic stuff, and I'm eulogising about a little multipler, but I am a big fan of these things. And sometimes it's nice just to have something that's a proper antidote to all the posh stuff. And that it really is, yeah, proper thing. So in their day, they were a 6-seater, weren't they? So it's the first of the sort of people carriers. So, yeah, carrying little people. Well, of course, everyone was small back then, wasn't it? That's what they say, isn't it? Well, the doorways were so low. Yeah, I think that's really cute. Beautiful condition. Original condition. I just, you know, you can't beat it, can you? Car's original. That little 600 of mine is original, and this would just go so well with it, wouldn't it? But a little bit more money than I can afford. And here we are back out in Bologna. Charles Bukowski also wrote, "People are not good to each other." But these guys are. That's where the hope is. Listen to Bukowski. I like him. I think he knew a lot about the human condition. Well, that's good night to beautiful Bologna.